This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so are you able to see my screens?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we were discussing about the compensatory of configuration. Yeah, compensatory of configuration. And as a part of this configuration, we have configured the absence type first of all, and then we have configured the quota, comp of quota. We have configured the counting rules and deduction rules, and we have set up a link between the absence type and absence quota. And then we have configured an attendance type as well to book the comp of attendance. We have defined a counting rule. And apart from that, while configuring the quota itself, we have configured a time type. Yeah, we have configured a time type called as VAST, and then we have assigned the time type to the absence quota. So we are done with all these configuration steps with regards to the compound. Now what we need to do is we need to set up a link between the attendance type as well as the time type in such a way that whenever we book attendance using the comp of attendance type, the number of hours should flow into this time type. Yeah, the number of hours should flow into this time type, and subsequently the number of hours that are there in the time type will automatically flow into the absence quota because we have already set that link. Yeah, we have already set that link. So what the missing config or the config that we need to complete right now is the link between the attendance type and the time type. The link between the attendance type and the time type. So let us move forward and see how we can configure this. So SPRO, we have SPRO, then reference IMG, we have time management, and then time evaluation, time evaluation without clock times, time evaluation without clock times, time data processing, time data processing, and here you have a node called as assign time types and processing types. Assign time types and processing types. Assign time types and processing types. So here we have a node called as define time types. So this is the node where we have already defined the time type. Okay. So this is nothing but the table called as v underscore t 5558 table. Okay. So this is the table where we have already defined the time type in the last session. Okay. In the last session, we have already defined the time type. So if you want to identify it, you can identify it. Just give the name of the time type. Okay. VAST. Right. So this is a time type that we have already defined. VASINC day balance time type. Yeah. Day balance time type. So this is a table where we have already defined it. So we have defined it using the SM30 transaction code we entered into the table directly. But if you want to come through the navigation path, so this is how we can get into this table using the navigation path. Using the navigation path. Then you have determine processing type / time type class for absences. Determine processing type / time type class for absence. Determine processing type / time type class for absence. Double click on this. And even before configuring this, we need to discuss something about processing time. Yeah, processing time. Now, what exactly is a processing time? Now, processing type defines how the number of hours stored in a time type have to be processed. Yeah, processing type defines or determines how the number of hours stored in a time type have to be processed. Have to be processed. Now, let us for an example, let us say an employee has worked for 10 hours on a particular day. Yeah, let us say an employee has worked for 10 hours on a particular day. So out of these 10 hours, 8 hours are regular working hours. Yeah, and 2 hours are overtime hours. Yeah, these are hours booked. Yeah, hours booked. And out of this, 8 hours are regular working hours, 2 hours are overtime hours. Yeah, for these 8 hours, regular salary has to be paid, right? For these 8 hours, regular salary has to be paid. And for these 2 hours, overtime salary has to be paid, isn't it? Yeah, because these 2 hours are the employee has booked more than the regular working hours. So as per the labor laws or as per the company norms, for these 2 hours, overtime has to be paid. Overtime has to be paid. So overtime salary is different and regular salary is different, right? Regular salary is
Yes,
different
sir.
and salary is different. So
Yes, sir.
there should be some indicator. There should be some indicator which system should understand, saying that okay, these hours are overtime hours and these hours are regular hours. So how will the system understand? The system will understand only using a processing time. Using a processing time. So during time evaluation, these 8 hours will be transferred to one particular time type. Yeah. Let us say time type 01. Yeah. Let us say time type 01. And these 2 hours will be transferred to another time type called as time type 02. Yeah. Time type 02.
Yes,
How will the system understand? The system will only understand based on the processing type that is assigned to it. Based on the processing type that is assigned to it. Now, there are different types of processing types. Okay, we have a processing type called S for regular working hours. Yeah, we have a processing type. Processing type.
right.
We have a processing type called as S for regular working hours. Yeah, M for overtime hours. Yeah, M for overtime hours. And then a processing type called as A for absence hours. Yeah, and P, another processing type called as P for attendance hours. Attendance hours. Okay. S for planned working hours. M is for overtime hours. A is for absence hours. And P is for attendance hours. P is for attendance hours. So these are four, standard processing types that are defined by SAP. And apart from these four, you can also define other processing types. So we'll discuss about it when we get into the table. Yeah, there is a table where we define this. So when we go there, I'll explain you other processing types also. But these are the standard processing types that are defined by SAP, which we can use. So with this little introduction to processing types, let us define this table. Yeah, determine processing type slash time type class for absence. Determine processing type slash time type class for absence. So in this table, identify the absence type that you have defined. Yeah, identify absence type that we have defined. That is, I think this, right? VASINC comp of absence type, right? So this is what we have defined. This is what we have defined. So this is for the comp of. So we need to assign two things here. One is something called as a class. Yeah, it is called as a class. What class is this? It is called class for time evaluation or time evaluation class. Yeah, class for time evaluation, or it is called as time evaluation class. So I will assign a number called as 02 here. Yeah, I'll assign a number called 02. And the next is processing type slash time type group. Yeah, processing type P by T grouping. This is, in short, it is called as P by T grouping. So P here stands for processing class. T stands for time type. Okay, so processing type actually, processing type slash time type. So it is, let us say I'm assigning 12. I'm assigning 12. Type slash time type. I'm assigning 12. Save it. 02 and 12. Navigate back. Next. Assign processing types and time type. Assign processing type and time type. Double click on this. Click on new entries. Click on new entries. Now, we will go a little slow here. Yeah, this is a huge table. We need to make all these entries in this table. Now, the first entry, the first field, what we are seeing here is personal subarea grouping for time recording. Yeah, personal subarea grouping for time recording. That is 01, which we have already defined. The second column here is grouping. Yeah, grouping. What grouping is this? This is time type determination group. Time type determination group. Time type determination group. So where can we identify this time type determination group? We can identify it in a PCR called as TMON. Yeah, we can assign it PCR called as TMON. So go to P02, the transaction code to access PCR says P02. We already discussed about this. So in this, give a PCR called as TMON. Give the name of the PCR called as TMON. Here, click on display. Click on display. After clicking on display, go to a grouping 3. This grouping is nothing but employee subgroup grouping for PCR. Employee subgroup grouping for PCR. So the employee subgroup grouping for PCR for salaried employees, we have assigned 3. So we are going to 3 here. And here, open up the 4 stars. Open up the 4 stars. The modif t value is nothing but the time type determination group. So modif t, against modif t, we have a number called 2. So this 2 is what we need to assign here. The grouping 2 is what we need to assign. This is time type determination group. time type definition group. Then P by T grouping is nothing but the grouping that we have given in the previous table, which is 12. So I'm assigning 12 here. Yeah. Then after this,
Three plus one.
we have three sets of columns. One is
Three plus one.
processing type 1, time type 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Then processing type 2, time type 2. Then we have processing type 3 and time type 3. Yeah. Processing type
Yes, sir.
1, time type 1. Processing type 2, time type 2. Processing type 3, time type 3. Now, what is the purpose of this processing type 1 and time type 1? So together this is called as a pair type. Yeah, together this is called as a pair type. So what is the purpose of this pair type 1 and what is the purpose of this pair type 2 and what is the purpose of this pair type 3? We need to understand first of all. Yeah. So pair type 1, why do we use pair type 1? So if you want to understand, for your reference, I am hitting on F1, yeah, near time type.
Okay.
I'm hitting on F1. When we hit on F1, yeah, okay, this
Type
pair
one.
type
Okay.
1 is used whenever we have to transfer time data that is stored in P2000,
Three
yeah,
to the
or
That's sir.
whenever the attendance is stored using the time recording terminals. That means whenever the attendance is stored using the swipe in and swipe out system,
Okay.
system. Whenever you want to pass those hours to a time type, we use pair type 1. Use pair type 1. So whenever the time data that is stored using the terminals, swipe in and swipe out system, if you want to pass it to the time types, you use pair type 1. Then what is the purpose of pair type 2? Place the cursor on time type 2 and hit on F1. Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever there are absence hours that are stored using 2001 info type. Yeah. Whenever there are absence hours that are stored using 2001 info type. Yeah. 2001 is for absences, right? So whenever
Yes,
you
sir.
want to pass on those absence hours into a time type, we use pair type 2. We use pair type 2. Then pair type 3 or time type 3. Whenever attendances which are booked using
Okay.
info type 2002. Whenever you book attendances using info type 2002 and whenever you want to transfer them to a time type,
Then
then we need to assign the time type here so that the number of hours booked using this 2002 info type, they will be transferred to this time type. They will be transferred to this time type. Okay. The purpose of time type, if you just recollect what we discussed during the time type discussion, the purpose of a time type is to process the time data. Yeah, process the time data. So the time data that is stored in the info type has to be transferred to a time type. So in this node, in this table, we are transferring the number of hours stored in a info type to the time type. That is the link we are setting up here. That is a link we are setting up here. So I will choose the time type. So this paid type 3 is for attendances. Yeah, paid type 3 is for attendances. So the time type that we have created is VAST, right?
Okay.
VAST is the time type that we have created. Okay, so I am assigning the VAST here, and the processing type that I'm assigning is P. Yeah, P.
Okay.
Start date and end date. Okay, start date and now with this, what happens is, okay, by doing this step or by configuring this node, what we have done is the number of hours stored using the attendance type. Yeah, we
Okay.
are linking it with the time type. We are linking it with the time type.
Okay. Okay.
How are we linking it with the time type? We are linking with the time type because we are assigning the time type in paid type 3. We are assigning the time type in the paid type 3. What is the purpose of paid type 3? The purpose of paid type 3 is to transfer.
Attendance.
You see,
Attendance input.
it
Okay.
is the purpose is to transfer the number of hours stored in the attendances info type to the respective time type. This is the purpose. SAP has defined this table with the purpose of linking the info types to a time type. The basic
Okay.
purpose of this table is to link info types with the time types. So what we have done, we have come to the appropriate table, we have come to the appropriate field, and we have assigned the time type here. So that the number of hours that are stored in the info type 2002 will be transferred to the time type.
Okay.
Will be transferred to the time type. Save it and navigate back and further back. Okay. So with this entire set of configurations with respect to the IMG nodes is completed with respect to compound. Now, apart from this, there is one little change that we need to do in a PCR. There's a PCR called as TR11. Yeah, there's a PCR
Okay.
called as TR11. We need to make some changes to this PCR as well. Yeah. So once we finish the configuring this PCR, and once we insert this PCR into the schema, then the config will be completed.
Okay.
So let us go to this PCR called as TR11 first of all. TR11.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, very important point that you need to remember is that we should not modify the standard PCRs and schemas defined by SAP.
Okay.
We should not modify them. What we
Okay.
can do is we can copy them. Yeah, we can copy them, create
Okay.
a new custom defined PCR, and we can modify that PCR. Yeah, we can modify the PCR. The original PCRs and schemas, which are SAP defined, should not be modified. Okay, should not be modified. Take it for granted. Remember this forever and ever. The
Okay.
original PCRs and schemas defined by SAP should not be modified.
Modify.
If at all you have to modify it, you make a copy of it. Yeah, you make a copy of
Okay.
it, and in that copy you can modify. You can modify that copy, but the original should not be changed. So what I'm doing here is I'm making a copy of it right now. Just see how I'm doing it. There's an
Okay.
option called copy. Click on copy. Click on copy. So the system will give the original rule. Rule is nothing but the PCR. The original PCR is TR11. I want to copy it to, let us say VR11, for instance.
Okay.
Okay, it got copied to VR11. Okay, it's getting copied into VR11. Now you can modify this VR11 the way you want. Okay, this is the copy, right?
Okay.
A copy of
Okay.
TR11. So you can play with this the way you want. You can modify it, you can, do whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay, now click on change. Click on change. Please observe what I'm doing. What I'm doing here is I'm just adding the time type that I have created in this PCR. That's all. Only simple step. I'm just
Okay.
adding VAST, the time type, whatever we have done. I'm adding it here. So if you want to add it here, what you can do is click on the single star here. Click on the single star. The single star is nothing but employee subgroup grouping for PCR. Okay.
Okay.
For any employee subgroup grouping for PCR, star means any employee subgroup grouping for PCR. Click on create. Say sublevel.
Okay.
Say sublevel. When you say sublevel, the system will give us a node which consists of only 4 characters. So in this, put the time type that we have created, VAST.
Okay.
It will give only 4 character space. A node with 4
Okay.
character space. That means 4 characters means you have to just understand that it is that we need to assign the time type. We need to include the time type. So give the name of the time type that you have created. Hit on enter and hit on enter once again.
Okay.
Enter once and enter second time also.
Okay.
Then click on VAST. Click on create. Say sublevel. Just say A D D D B start. A D D D B start. Hit on enter and enter once again. That's all. Check. Check. Personal calculation rule is okay.
So what's the
Save.
ADDDP?
It will add the number of hours stored in VAST.
Okay.
Yeah, it will add it to the day balances. It will add
Anti
it to the day
Okay.
balances. ADD BB. It will add it to the day balances.
Okay.
Save.
Then
Yeah. So we have modified TR11 PCR and we have created our own PCR called as VR11. Now, after doing this, we have to go to the schema. The transaction code to access schema is PE01.
okay.
PE01.
01.
The schema is TM04. Again, we should not modify the standard schema. What we will do? What we should do?
Then is this what's
If you want
the
to modify it, this is a standard schema. TM04 is a standard
okay.
schema.
Okay. We
Okay.
need to copy the
I
okay.
want to modify it. Copy it. That's it. Simple.
Yeah, we need to copy.
Make a copy.
Yeah.
Give a name called as VM11, for instance.
Okay.
VM11 already exists. You see, it
Right.
is read this schema VM04 already exists. Please choose another name. So we
Right.
yeah, TM04 to VM04. Let me say, let me give another name. VA0.
Okay.
Okay. VA04 TM04 got copied to VA04. Yeah,
Right.
VA04. Now,
Okay.
now we can change this. We can modify
Right.
this. Yeah.
Yes.
So click on change. Click on change. When you click on change, you will see the entire schema in the editable mode. Yeah, this is called
Right.
editable mode. You can change anything here now. Previously, we have seen only in the display mode. When we see in the display mode, we will see it like this. We cannot change anything. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But when you click on the change mode or editable mode, you'll be able to change it. Now scroll down and identify the PCR TR11. Identify the PCR TR11. It is here in line number 640. We have a PCR TR11. You see? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we have to
Yes, sir.
replace this with BR11. BR11 is the PCR that we have copied and made changes to it. So instead of TR11, make it as BR11. So what we are doing, whatever
Yeah.
PCR that we have created, this one, BR11 PCR, whatever we have created, we are including it in the schema. That means whatever time type we have created will also be processed. That will also be considered now. Okay, that
Right.
will also be done. So check, save. And for your information, this TR11 PCR will be there in line number 640, the standard scheme. You can also make a note of it. Yeah, because if you
Yes, sir.
just look at the schema, because you are working for the first time, you might not be able to identify it easily. It will be in line number
Okay.
640. It will be in line number 640.
Fine. Yes, sir.
640. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
So in 640, you will see TR11, TR11 with VR11. That is what you have to display
Okay.
change and navigate back. Right. So with this,
Right.
the configuration pertaining to compensatory of is completed. Yeah, configuration is completed. Now we have to see the output. Yeah, we have to see the output. How can you see the output? How can you see the output?
I think it's
Hmm?
PE01. We can see it in PE01.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
No.
You can see the output. If you want to see the output, first of all, we have to book attendance on a public holiday or day off,
Right.
isn't it? If you have to, you have to first of all book attendance on a public holiday or day off. After booking attendance on a public holiday or day off, then you have to perform
Okay.
time evaluation for the day. When you perform time evaluation for the day, during the time evaluation, the system will generate this absence quota. That is how we see the output. Yeah, that is how we see the output.
Okay.
Okay, so let us book attendance on a public holiday or day off.
Hmm.
Or let us first of all run time evaluation for this employee. Now let's go to PA30. Okay, first of all, the person number of the employee whom we have hired is this one, right? So for this employee, first of all, run the time evaluation without booking comp off. Yeah, let us test it using the new
Yeah.
schema. So go to PT60. Go to PT60. The person number of the employee is that one, right? Is that the, yeah. And then the schema that we want to use is
Yeah.
VA04. Why VA04? Because we made changes to this schema.
Right.
Even if you click on the drop down, you should be able to see VA04 somewhere here. You see VA04. Yeah. So this is we
Yes,
have
sir.
copied TM04, the standard schema, and we have created VA04. And in VA04, we have replaced TR11 PCR with VR11 PCR. And in VR11 PCR, we have included the time type VAST that we have created. Yeah. So what we are doing right now is called as doing customization. It is called as customizing the PCRs and schemas as per our business process. Yeah, as per our business process. So what I'll do right now is I'll just run the time evaluation first of all and see that the schema is working fine. I'll just say execute. The time evaluation will be run till the current date. You see here 13/5/2020. Okay. So previously we have run time evaluation till certain date. So from that date till current date, the system will run the time evaluation. Okay. So previously we have run the time eval till 2/5/2020. Okay. Live time eval we have run till 2nd May 2020. So the system has started running it from 3rd. Yeah. System has started running it from 3rd. So now let me book attendance on a public holiday or day off. So what is the day off here? Day off here is, let us say Saturday is a day off, right? So on Saturday, let me show you something. On Saturday, go to manage time accounts, go to quota, set for quota. Yeah. So when you go here, there is an internal table called as ABWKONTR. 1 second, Abhi.
Sir.
Yeah, Abhi. So if you can check here, yeah, we have an internal table called as ABWKONTI. Yeah. So in this table, ABWKONTI will store the absence quotas. Yeah, it will store absence quota that got generated. Now there is no value in this. There is no box. Yeah. So we discussed already. Whenever, if at all, there is a box, that means there is some value here. If there is no box, there is no value. There is no internal table that was generated. There is no value. For example, I'll show you something. We discussed about this in the initial, no, when we discussed about the time evaluation in the initial, on the first day, we have discussed about this. So here you see input and WPPP table. This is also an internal table. Yeah. And here we have a box. It means there are some table entries. If you place the cursor here, you will see Table entry exists. We are getting a message here.
Yes,
Table entry exists. Double click on this. Double click on this, and we are able to see some values. We are able to see some values. But
yes,
if you scroll down, the APWKONTI is also an internal table. But right now, there are no. That means right now, there is no quota that is
no,
generated.
right,
Right now, there is no quota that is generated. So this is for
okay,
Saturday 9th. Yeah, this is for Saturday 9th of May. Yeah, 9th of May.
yes,
There's no table entry that got generated. Now, let us book comp off. How do we book comp off? We book comp off on a public holiday or day off. So let us choose. Let us
right,
understand that we'll understand book comp off. We'll book comp off on 9th. So 2002 is the attendances info type. Click on the drop down.
yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Choose comp off attendance. DASINC comp off attendance. Right? This is the one that we have created, right?
right,
Comp off
yes,
attendance.
sir. Yeah,
Use this attendance type. Use this attendance type. Hit on enter. Say create. When you click on create, let's say I want to book starting 8 o'clock till 16 hours. Yeah, 8 o'clock to 16 hours, 8 hours. Yeah,
okay,
so I'm booking attendance on a public holiday or a day off. So we have to book it on 9th actually. So view 9th, start date and end date as 9th.
okay,
Yeah, I'm booking attendance on 9th. What is 9th? 9th is Saturday.
so Saturday, right,
9th is a Saturday, which is a day off.
yes, sir.
So as per the planned working hours, as per the work schedule rule that we have created, Saturdays and Sundays are day offs. Okay.
Yeah,
So on a
yes, sir.
day off, the employee is working. On a day off, the employee is working. We have booked attendance. Save it.
Right,
Yeah. Save it. Now, for your understanding, I'll open another window and I'll
right,
execute time evaluation in another window. Okay. Go to PT60. Give the personal number of the employee. Give the schema VM04. Display log. Western not rate. Execute.
okay,
Now, on 9th. Yeah. On 9th.
okay,
You scroll a little down. You scroll a little down. Open up manage time accounts. Open up quota. Open it output. Still we don't have any value there. Hang on.
right,
Then comp of attendance we are able to see. We are able to see 8 hours. These 8 hours have to be processed. types. It is getting passed on to time type called as 1300. Is it? Okay. All right. So there
Time
is
type.
some issue with the form. We should be seeing VAST here actually. So the
Okay.
number of hours are not getting passed on to the appropriate time type. Let me cross check the config. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go
Okay.
to here, SN30. I'm just getting into the table directly.
Okay. Sorry.
Now let me cross check. Yeah.
Yeah.
What we have is, this is the config that we have done. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas system is considering this entry. Okay, you see here,
Right.
it is getting
Yes,
passed
sir.
on to the time type called 1300. Yeah, with processing type S. Yeah, it is getting passed on to this one, but it has to actually get passed on to this time type. It has to go to this time type.
Sir,
So
actually, time
PBT
type
group,
table. Uh,
yeah,
what the number you have given for the time type table, sir?
VAST
V.
only. Time type is VAST. VAST. This is a time type.
No, sir. Actually, I have written here timetable type, sir, which you came
Okay,
directly into the
basically,
table.
okay, okay. I'll tell you that. Hang on. Uh,
Actually,
that
you
is
type
a
it as,
V_555A. That is
yeah,
A.
right.
This is Y.
Yeah, this is why, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a different thing.
That's
So
right, sir.
for some reason, the value, the control is going to this line. The control should come to this line actually. So let me check the grouping, PBT grouping.
Okay.
Yeah, that I have given.
Okay.
Yeah, let me check the PBT grouping. And, oh, okay, 12 absences. We need to also define the same thing for attendances actually. I think I missed this one.
Okay.
So for VAS form for attendance also, I need to give the same numbers 0, 2, and 4.
Okay.
Now execute the time evaluation once again. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Execute the time evaluation. Now let's see the output. Manage time accounts. Quota. Output. Now you see there's a table entry here. Yeah,
Right,
there's
sir.
a table entry. So previously, when we have done the time evaluation, yeah, before booking the attendance type, comp of attendance type, the table entry was not there. Yeah, but
Yes, sir.
after I have booked the attendance, we are able to see the table entry. So when you double click on this, you see the exact
Okay.
quota that is generated is 8 hours. The quota that is generated is 8 hours. And what is this
Right.
quota type? 80,
8,
85 is for
85.
comp. 85 is the comp of quota. So it got generated for 8 hours. Now what I'll do,
Okay.
I'll also book attendance for Sunday. I'll also book attendance on Sunday, that is 10th. Okay. Let's say
Right.
10/5. Yeah. On Sunday, I will book only 4 hours.
Okay.
Okay. I'll book only 4 hours. Yeah. Now, run time evaluation once again. So, right now we
Right.
are seeing only 8 hours. So, after executing the time evaluation, you can check it out. Execute. Check for Sunday.
So,
This Sunday, right? 10th is Sunday. So, here, open up manage time accounts, open up quota, output, double click on the Now we are seeing 12 hours. Because
right.
8 hours plus 4 hours is 12
For 4
hours.
hours.
So this is called compensatory of configuration. This is compensatory of configuration.
So you have changed some.
Sorry?
You have given some numbers in attendance, right, sir?
Yeah, we
0 to
have,
1.
you see, that is called as booking attendance.
Booking attendance.
Yeah, we have booked attendance. That is how you need to say technically as a SAP guy or as an
Okay.
HR guy. You have to say you have booked attendance on a public or on day offs.
Oh,
We have
okay.
booked the attendance on day off
Yeah.
and the quota got generated.
Okay.